ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to be in class with you again. We are still discussing advocacy for the plight of public school students in African countries. And from practical angle, we are looking at how to chart escape route for these students, especially public school students under our care. We have 6 lectures to go in this series, and we had considered 2 already. We have looked at admission without JAM. How can public school students navigate their way to still get university admission, to still gain university admission, and to still bag their degrees, first degree, second degrees, without having to go through the hassles of JAM, which is not always easy for many of them to pass. We looked at 8 alternatives to JAM, and I've been able to open our eyes to 8 ways by which students can still find their way around getting to universities without necessarily writing a JAMB exam or passing JAMB examinations. I hope that is an eye opener for us and we can get to guide the public school students to follow some of these routes instead of staying at home for 2, 3, 4, 5 years writing JAMB year in, year out. That is the first thing we have done. All in effort to do one thing, get alternative route for public school students to make it in life where they seems to be disadvantaged. Number two that we have considered was the the getting employment without certificates. Now we said that the chance of getting employment for especially many of them that do not have the requisite certificate could be very, very slim, and that is why we looked at employment without certificate. We look at 7 requirements to be employed in the 21st century. And we discovered that certificate is just one of them. And certificate accounts for less than 30% in what a graduate needs to get a job in the 21st century. Of course, we look at 6 other requirements and we narrow down on 3 of them, specifically the kind of skills that students should get and the competencies they need to get. And we also talk about the certifications. So those are the things we have talked about. Now we're going to the third lecture in this series of charting escape route for students in public schools. And this time around, this one is going to be very, very brief. Is what we title admission without connections. Okay, let me start with private school students. Because many private school students they are they have parents who are exposed, who are educated, and who are connected. So getting scholarships comes very easy for many of them. So you see their parents giving them a card or putting a call through to someone, and pronto, they already get it. Even where they don't get the scholarship, they have the funds to actually pay for admission into leading universities around the world. Can we get such opportunity for public school students? The answer is yes. But this time around, it's going to be the few uh, intelligent ones among them, brilliant ones among them, those who are academically sound among them in public school. So we can actually look out, maybe in a public school, right from SS1, we look out for those who are doing very well, whose cumulative percentage is from 70% and above, or even 65% and above. We can gather them together and put up a program for them. That is scholarship without connection, admission without connection. But this time around, we're not just talking about Nigerian universities of African universities, because many African universities do not offer the kind of scholarship we're talking about. So we're talking about gaining scholarship to American universities, Canadian universities, Australian universities, European universities. That is what we want to discuss. So how will that be possible for public school students who does not have any connection, who does not have a politician, um, or a captain of industry as his father or father figure? Now, this is what I want us to pay attention to. I will discuss one in the course of this training. When we get to employability studies, Then we're going to be sharing all other options. But because of time, let's discuss only one. There is this examination called SAT exam. It was, formerly scholastic aptitude test. It was later they changed it to scholastic assessment test. But currently they just call it SAT exam. This SAT examination is like what JAMB is to us in Nigeria. That is what it is in many in America. It is an entrance examination. Instead of four subjects that we write in JAMB, they write only two subjects in SAT: English language and mathematics alone. Now, instead of 100 marks, that is the total obtainable marks for JAMB, for them, for one subject, it is 800 marks. So for JAMB, the cumulative figure, total obtainable marks, is 400 marks. But for SAT, it will be 1,600 marks. That is 800 marks for English language, 800 marks for mathematics, making a total of 1,600 marks. Now, if any child, any student from any country of the world registers for this exam and pass the exam, the chance of gaining admission to American universities becomes very high without knowing anybody, because they have their cutoff points for many of these scholarships, just like JAMB also has cutoff for different courses. So different universities have different cutoff marks for admission and for scholarship into their universities. But on the average of 1400, by 1400 I mean 1400 marks, the chance of gaining admission and scholarship is becoming very high. So if any of the public school students that we are trying to introduce to this program can score 1,400, 1,400, 1,420, 1,430, 1,450, then he can actually gain admission with scholarship to many universities in Canada, in America, especially in America. There are so many universities. So if we now have exceptionally brilliant students that are scoring 1,500, oh my, they can go to Ivy League universities on scholarship. Now, this is a big deal for a public school student. And I'm very convinced that many of our students can actually attain that level. Many of our students can actually score that mark. It is just because they are not exposed to this information. And we, the teachers, also were not exposed to this information. So it looks like it is exclusive right of the private school student. No, not at all. Oxford University will not say because you are from a public school in Nigeria, you are not going to be given admission scholarship if you merit it. Not at all. So what can we do? What we can do is to take this information back to the students. Like I've said, let's look for those who have aptitude for this. Normally, we should go for those who are on 70% and above, but we can even bring it to 65% and above. And then we can start. And then we can begin to give them the mock examinations. We can begin to give them the past questions for this particular examination. Put them through on how to prepare. If we start from SS1, SS2, before they get to SS3, they could have mastered how to pass that exam. And by the time they pass that exam and they beat the cutoff mark, we can push one from your school, one from my school, two from the other school. If every teacher going through this training can produce just one or two or three, and they are gain admission to tertiary institutions abroad, then the poverty jinx is being broken. In fact, the jinx is being broken, and it will serve as encouragement and incentive for so many other students in public schools to know that they can actually travel abroad without going through illegitimate means, without carrying drug for any baron, without going there to wash toilet or to without having to sell all the properties in Nigeria before you travel out. Because the concept of Jackpot these days is that you have an agent that is helping you to Jackpot, then you sell every sellable, sell the plot of land that you inherit from the great grandfathers and do everything. And when you get there, you get a caregiving job. You begin to wash diapers, I begin to change diapers and all of that. But with this public school student can honestly gain admission honorably into respectable institutions abroad, finish from there, get good jobs, and then start better life. That's the essence of this program: admission, scholarship without connection. So when we get to the training room, you want to ask more questions on how to go about this. I know there will be so many questions you want to ask. So you can ask in the training room, you can ask in the comment section, and we can do justice to, these questions. And by the time they finish, those who are able to get the requisite marks, of course, all other paperwork, the ambassadors, that's why we have CPD ambassadors in every state. The CPD ambassadors, CPD moderators can actually come up and we will work out the modality of getting them into those places. My name is Adebare Gunjobi. I'm happy to be in class with you. Don't forget, our goal for this CPD program is to chart escape route for public school students. This is the third lecture in the series. When I come in the next class, I'll be talking on success in life without examination results. So, in case many of the students do not get examination results, what can they do to still be successful? That one is going to be very, very practical. So, let's keep our fingers crossed as we go for that class. You are doing a great job. Don't forget what I said at the beginning of this program. You may not be able to throw back all the fish back to the river, but at least the one that you pick either for admission without jump, the one you pick for employment without certificate, the one you pick to go and do a Chinese course, or to go and do project management certification, or to go and do web development, or to go and do video editing or social media marketing, the one you are able to put up for SAT exam and is able to pass and go, those ones will survive. We do our best and we leave the rest. See you in the next class, and bye for now. Thank you and God bless you all.